you ever noticed that when you're really stressed or you're really anxious, all you end up wanting is sugar? Like maybe candy, cookies, bread, pasta, cake, anything that is really carb heavy and sugar related. And then you end up eating it. And yeah, maybe you do feel a little bit better for a minute. Maybe you do get a big burst of energy, or, you feel more awake. And then pretty soon after, you start to feel worse. Maybe you feel really tired, fatigued, anxious, shaky, or you go into a food coma and, disappear and lose track of time. And then you end up getting really angry and frustrated at yourself because you feel like you have no willpower. But what I want you to understand is that it's not necessarily a willpower problem. And I think that when we start to shift our perspective on this, it can make a huge difference. So this is essentially your nervous system trying to survive. So let me explain what's actually happening. So maybe this is you. Maybe you're really stressed. Maybe work is overwhelming, or the kids are demanding, or family has, had a lot more pressure on you lately, and life just feels like it's too much. And then all you can think about is sugar or ice cream or cookies or chocolate or bread. And you end up telling yourself, well, I'm not going to do this today. I am going to be good today. No sugar, no sweets, no treats. But then when it comes to maybe somewhere between 3 and 5 p.m., you end up in the pantry eating whatever you can find that's carb heavy. Or maybe you end up at a drive-thru, or you're ordering DoorDash or Uber Eats or something. And then you start to feel a lot of guilt, right? You feel like, oh, well, I'm just a failure. I'm a horrible person. I'm never going to change. Why can't I just have some self-control? Why do I always do this? And then you promise yourself that tomorrow is going to be different. Well, I'll start tomorrow. I'll start fresh tomorrow, right? And tomorrow comes, and what happens? The same thing. This is not about willpower. It's not about being weak. It's not about being undisciplined. Your body is doing what it was designed to do when you are chronically stressed and stuck in survival mode. So what most people don't understand about these types of sugar cravings is that when you are stressed, your nervous system goes into that fight or flight mode. And so your body thinks there's a danger, whether there's a real danger or you're just thinking about something stressful. And when your body thinks that there's a danger, it needs very quick energy in order to survive. And what gives you quick energy? Sugar and carbs. So your body starts screaming, get me sugar now, right? Not because you're weak or undisciplined, but because your body is trying to keep you alive. But the problem is that you're not actually running from a bear. You're just stressed out. Maybe work or maybe overwhelmed by life, but your body doesn't quite understand the difference, right? It just knows, hey, we're in danger. We need fuel. We need sugar now. And there's also something else that's happening. So when you do eat sugar, your brain starts to release these chemicals that make you feel really calm for a minute, right? It's like a temporary stress relief. And your body starts to learn, well, when I'm stressed, sugar makes me feel better. And then it becomes a pattern in our brain, a survival pattern, right? So our neurons, our little brain cells start to go down the same pathway every time. Well, I'm stressed, I need to eat sugar. It makes me feel better. But what happens when we do this is that we crash because the sugar spikes the blood sugar and then it drops really hard. And your energy tanks, and then you end up feeling worse than before. And your body is then telling you when you crash, hey, we need more sugar to fix this because blood sugar's low, right? So you're constantly up and down all day long. And that's also probably why most of you are also waking up between 2 to 4 a.m. every single night on the dot. And it's not your fault. Your nervous system is dysregulated. It's stuck in stress mode, and it's essentially using sugar as a survival tool. So I want to talk about my own story. And I lived like this for pretty much my entire life until the last couple of years. And when I was at my worst and I was completely bedridden and burnt out, well, actually, this was just before I became burnt out, because when I was bedridden, I was on AIP diet. That's a topic for another day. But just before I crashed, I, because I was working so much and I was so stressed and so fatigued and inflamed and so overweight, I was constantly eating out. Like I didn't ever cook. If I ate at home, it was a protein shake, and everything else came from like Chick-fil-A or Chick-fil-A. And so, and then I would like eat s'mores on the weekends or Doritos on the weekends. And it's so horrible when I like go back and think about it. And I'm like, why would I do that? But I was so, like, when I tell you I was so exhausted, I couldn't cook. I was so exhausted, I couldn't cook. And I would eat these things until I felt sick. And I felt so ashamed. I was like, well, what is wrong with me? I'm a doctor. I know better. If I had enough discipline to get through school, I should have discipline to lose weight and stop gaining weight. And my body was so stressed and it was so dysregulated that it was desperate for anything that would, even relatively make it feel better, even if it was just for 5 minutes. And you also have to consider how addictive processed foods are. So, companies hire scientists to manufacture chemicals to put into processed foods that get you hooked on them, that cause your satiety hormones, the ones that make you feel full, to kind of dampen their signaling so that they're not telling you, hey, I'm full, and so that you keep eating their products, so that you spend more money on their products. So when I say it's not your fault, it's really not your fault. And it wasn't until I started working more with my nervous system and learning more about holistic health and, diving deeper into functional nutrition that I started actually learning how to help my body feel safe, regulate my blood sugar, and help those cravings start to calm down. And now I don't even eat sugar, right? Unless I go to like a family dinner every now and then. So I'm one of those, my brother always makes fun of me because I'm one of those ingredient households and there's never anything to eat in my house if you just show up, because there's not food, like all these meals cooked or anything. But I prefer that because now that I've started eating more whole foods and things like that, I truly don't crave the sugar, right? And I digress. I'm kind of getting off track here, but again, this wasn't necessarily a willpower problem, not at its core and not in its entirety, because my body was stuck in this survival mode and my brain and my body were working against me. My food was working against me. It felt like society also, like the marketing for the food companies, was working against me, plus the lack of education on nutrition. So when my nervous system was starting to feel really safe, I didn't need all of this sugar to survive, right? Like I could actually choose what I wanted to eat instead of being driven by panic and anxiety and wanting to grab something that was quick and easy because I was so tired. So let's talk about what actually works. Number one, again, understand this is not just about willpower. Your body is trying to survive. So please stop shaming yourself for it, because that shame is going to make it worse. The shame, you have to understand that, and I've talked about this a lot on TikTok in the last couple of weeks. Our emotions they actually have like this chemical makeup to them, and they trigger physical responses in the body. So how you feel affects your body in many different ways. So when we're thinking a lot of shameful thoughts about ourselves, it can actually trigger the stress response and release more stress hormones. So that is essentially making the cravings worse. Number two, we want to learn to regulate our nervous system. So when your body starts to truly feel safe and secure, those cravings start to calm down, because it's starting to shift out of that survival mode. It's like, hey, I don't need all of those carbs anymore. Hey, I'm not running from lions and tigers and bears. I'm gonna be okay. So you can use different practices, right? We have a lot of free EFT videos on our channel and a lot of other content. You can use breath work, you can use grounding, meditation. All of these things help to signal to your body that you are not in danger anymore. Number 3, you want to stabilize your blood sugar. This is so important for your nervous system. Try to eat protein and fat with your meals, okay? Anytime you eat, you want to eat some protein with it. Fiber is also something that you should probably incorporate, but like my baseline minimum thing is eat protein anytime you eat, whether it's a meal or a snack. Try not to skip meals. I know there's a lot of people saying, well, intermittent fasting this, fasting that. I'm not saying those are not good things. I think they are very healthy. I think there's a lot of research behind them. My bangs are getting in my face today. But what we have to understand is that when our body is so stressed and our nervous system is already dysregulated, intermittent fasting might not be the best idea and can make it worse. So it's also something that you don't want to just, hey, let me just start eating one meal a day out of nowhere. If your nervous system's dysregulated, it is going to crash and send it into shock, and we don't want to do that. We want to be very gentle with our bodies. But again, this is going to help keep that blood sugar stable. Earlier, we were talking about the ups and the downs and the roller coaster with the blood sugar when we eat a lot of heavy carbs. So when you're eating protein at every meal, it helps kind of buffer how fast your blood sugar rises when you eat carbs. And so it's not going to come up as high as fast. So instead of getting this all day long, it's going to be more like this. It's just gentle, right? Gentle waves. And lastly, you want to give yourself some grace, okay? If you do eat sugar, that is okay. It's okay. It happens. No one is perfect, okay? Your body's trying to protect you, and trying to override what is innate intelligence in your body is difficult, right? Which is why I talk to you guys so much about trying to work with your body instead of against it. So if you do make a mistake, if you do have too much sugar and you do start to have the roller coaster again and you crash, it's okay. Just breathe. Maybe try one of the EFT sessions for shame and understand that tomorrow is a new day. It's going to be okay. You can do it again tomorrow and have a better day. So the goal is not perfection. It is to help your body feel safe enough so that it stops screaming for that sugar in order to survive. So if you are starting to realize that your sugar cravings are actually a nervous system issue and not a willpower issue, and you want support in regulating your nervous system and the rest of your body in a very holistic way, that is exactly what we do here. So in our program, what we do is we work on nervous system regulation so that your body can get out of survival mode. And when that happens, those cravings naturally start to calm down so that you're not fighting your body anymore. You are working with it. So if that sounds like something that you need, I will link everything you need to know down in the description below. You can book a free call with us and we can talk about it and see what's really going on with your body and see how we can help you to feel safe, secure, and move forward in life. So please, guys, always remember, you are not weak and you are not lacking discipline. Your body's trying to survive. It's always trying to make sure that you are alive to see the next day. And when you start to really give it those safety cues and regulate it, everything starts to change. So many doors are going to open up for you in so many different areas of your life, not just health. So we will see you tomorrow. We're going to talk about some different things this week that I think are going to be very beneficial, including a short 3-minute nervous system reset that you can do anywhere. So see you guys next time.